Now, everything we've covered up until this point has really been your foundation, but what I want to talk about now is what the next level might look like. Things like VS Code, GitHub, and Copilot inside your editor, these are the tools that working sysadmins are using every single day, and there are dedicated courses around them for when you're ready. But I want to at least get you to understand what I'm talking about so that when you are ready, you can start looking into them. The first thing I want to talk about is VS Code, so that's Visual Studio Code. If you've been writing and editing scripts in Notepad or a basic text editor, I think this is probably the single most impactful upgrade that you can make, and it's completely free. It has things like syntax highlighting, so every PowerShell commandlet, every bash variable, and every Python function renders in color. When AI gives you a script, you're not just reading a wall of black text, you can immediately see the structure, spot what's a command versus what's a string versus what's a comment. There's also things like IntelliSense and autocomplete. As you begin to type, VS Code suggests commandlets and parameters, and if you're adapting an AI script and you change a command, it'll offer completions based on what's actually valid. That's how you learn the commands properly, by seeing them in suggested context. The integrated terminal is also a game changer. You write the script in the editor, open the terminal at the bottom, and run it without having to switch windows. So that means you can edit run, see output, and edit again, all in one place. And of course, error highlighting catches syntax problems before you even run the script. So if AI has made a small mistake, VS Code often underlines it in red straight away. You've also got some really important extensions on the right hand side that could really help you out, and one of those especially being the GitHub Copilot means that you can have AI directly inside your VS Code terminal. Now, GitHub Copilot, this is where the workflow evolves from what we've been doing in this course. So far, we've been actually going to ChatGPT or Claude in a browser, generating a script and copying it to our editor, and working with it from there. That works well, especially as a beginner, and it's a really great way to learn. But Copilot takes it a step further. It brings the AI directly inside VS Code, so you never leave your editor. Here's how it works. You start typing maybe a comment describing what you want, or maybe the first line. Copilot reads your intent in real time, and then suggestions appear as ghost text. You hit tab to accept it, or you keep typing to refine it. You stay in the editor the whole time. The newer Copilot chat panel is even more powerful. It works a lot like ChatGPT, but it has full context of your open files. So you can say, explain what this function does, or add error handling to this script, and you can actually see your code reference it directly. It's not just generating blindly, it knows what you're working with. There are free tiers available, so it may be something you want to look at, but there's also pro versions that can be, more for businesses and IT professionals. Next up, we have GitHub itself. So this is something a lot of sysadmins have never used, so I do want to explain it simply before anything else. GitHub is like a save system for your scripts. Every version of every script that you've ever written can be stored, tracked, and retrieved. If you break something, you can go back to a previous version, and if you want to know what's changed between last week and this week, GitHub can tell you exactly what was different line by line. Think about it this way. You'd never work on an important Word document without saving it, so you'd probably not want to work on a script without doing the same. There's also some really important reasons to use it. It means you'll never be able to lose a script because every version is saved and is recoverable. You track every change, which is invaluable when something breaks and you need to know what was different. Your scripts are available anywhere, so you can pull them onto a new server, a colleague's machine, or even a cloud VM with one command. And if you're working in a team, multiple people can work on the same script library without overwriting each other. So it's really cool to have in your environment, and it's something that if you're wanting to learn more about, there are plenty of resources out there. GitHub is free and it integrates directly with VS Code, so you can manage everything from the editor without having to touch the command line if you prefer. So 6 techniques that represent the next layer of scripting skill up from this course. I'm not going to go deep on any of these today because each of them could be their own course in itself, but I want you to know why they exist and know what they unlock. First of all, it's modular scripting. Instead of one massive script that does everything, you break functionality into reusable functions stored in separate files. You call those functions from any script, and AI is excellent at taking those existing scripts and refactoring it into modules. Next up is scheduled automation. So Task Scheduler on Windows or Cron on Linux. This is where scripts become true automation because you set them up once and they run on a schedule, even overnight when there's no sysadmins online. AI can write both the script and the scheduling command in one prompt, so it really can help you out. Then there's script parameters and inputs. You can stop hard-coding values. A script that has a username hard-coded only works for one user, but a script with a parameter block works for anyone, against any machine at any path. So you can ask AI to add param block to any script you've already used and watch it become 10 times more useful. There's also logging and alerting. Every script that runs unattended should write to a log file and optionally send an alert if something goes wrong. So you can help and get AI to help you to add professional logging to any script with a single prompt. There's also REST APIs and webhooks, so if you're sending a Teams or Slack message when a script completes, pulling data from a web service, or posting results to a dashboard. AI can write all of the API calls, you just need to know where to point them. And finally, there's the CI/CD pipelines. You can use something like GitHub Actions to automatically test and deploy your scripts whenever you push a change. This is really how enterprise IT teams manage script libraries at scale. It's advanced, but it's built on everything else in this slide. So this is really where you can go from here, because this course has given you a foundation, and that's exactly what it was designed to do. You can now prompt AI effectively, you can read and understand the output, and you can verify before you run. If there are problems, you know how to fix them, and you started to understand what you need to identify to automate. So you're here at the foundation level. But what comes next depends on which direction you want to go deeper. If PowerShell is your primary environment, a dedicated PowerShell course could take you into modules, pipelines, and much more. If you work primarily on Linux, you might want to look at a Bash scripting course to cover the language properly. And then when you're ready to take version control seriously, you could start looking into GitHub and Git courses to walk you through repositories, branching, pull requests, and much more. So my advice is simple. Don't jump ahead too fast. Make sure you master what you've got, take the scripts you've built in this course, look at testing them properly, and then start to look at your automation backlog. Get comfortable with the workflow, then you can come back and go deeper on whichever area matters to you the most. The skills compound, and every course that you take from here builds directly on this foundation, and the foundation you've built in this course is certainly a solid one. Thank you very much for being here in this lesson. See you in the next one.